I tell ChatGPT to make an Instagram post with XYZ on whatever that topic is, do an X post for it as well, do a Facebook post for it as well, and film it takes, it does take a little while to film and edit, which sucks, but it's, 20 minutes. If you're doing it my way. Like, I'm not going to, and that's another thing. I don't, and I should do this, I'm sure. I should be looking more at filters and effects and just, how can I make it more visually appealing just with what's there? Not going out of my way to, this and all that, but just, what's inherent in the app that everything in there is nothing like what I'm trying to go for. I don't need laser part eyes.
What are you using?
So what I'll do, I'll film on my phone, dump it into CapCut, but that's because I haven't really dicked around with TikTok too much, but I'll dump it into CapCut, I'll cut it up, and then put my captions in, and rename it, and then upload to TikTok, and then that's where I put in the whatever my body copy is, and then I just hit go. I may have audio, I may not. Most of the time I don't. It's really, I just feel like it's a distraction.
Just depends. Some people like it, some people don't. Sometimes you remember when Todd, you guys can all relate to this. Remember when Todd would talk, and he's talking and saying exactly the same things that he always says, but he would have music behind.
Yes.
It was more powerful. Sometimes it jumped out at me. I was like, oh, yeah. What he's saying now is so much more significant. And it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't. But there was an effect on me. So there may be an effect on some other audience members when there's some deep music playing behind you. It is going to take more time to do it, but it's literally a button.
Is it though?
It is on CapCut.
What I'm saying is, okay.
It's a button, it's choosing the song or the sound, but I will tell you the most popular videos or reels that I produce use the original sound. People, like one of my most, the original sound, like the toaster oven sound. Tick, 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 tick. That one has gotten the most views of anything so far. The Disney train, original sound. Lots of views. People are ridiculous. It's impossible for me to understand how the algorithm and how the views and how this all works. The original audio.
So just whatever you feel.
Yeah, like walking feet sound seems like it works. A ticking clock seems like it works. And I don't know if it's the visual or the audio, but those are the ones that seem to work. I don't know why.
Well, I've got movie
so you may be onto something
today. I just at some point here and maybe this is the punk in me that just kind of comes out in these situations. But it's like, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. If I'm doing what everybody else is doing, then I'm everybody else. And that's not what I'm trying to go for. Like, why? I understand that you gotta play to the algorithm and and if you want to get seen, it's like, well, am I playing to an algorithm or am I playing to a person? Like, what? I don't want to create content, and I'm not going to. I don't want to create stuff just for the sake of, like, that's what's trending. That's what's trendy right now is to, I don't know, film your dog and then doing an overlay, a voiceover on top of whatever it is that whatever your message is. Well, yeah, it's funny, but is it what I'm trying to do? Is it what I'm trying to go for? Is it not everything has to be so serious. I get that, but then there are certain things that I think have to be pretty targeted and not serious, but deliberate. And a lot of the accoutrement that we see in all these other TikToks, it's like, dude, you just, I'm lost. I'm so worried now about having a seizure that I'm not even listening. Because like, all right, well, there are moments where you can do stuff like that. There are moments that you can't. With the stuff that I've been putting out the last couple of days, I don't think that that's the appropriate. With what it is I'm trying to say, and the delivery and the audience that I'm trying to reach, I don't think it's, for me, appropriate to do it. But if I were to create something that was faceless, then okay, that would be different. Like if I was to intentionally go out and make something that it would be appropriate and make it seem like it's appropriate and there's a through line for it, then that makes sense to me. But that's the kind of editing and the kind of time consumption that I can't do right now. Like, I don't want to come up with hey, ChatGPT, come up with a funny Instagram reel on this. I'll do a serious one and then a funny one. If I say that now, I'm probably not doing it. What's that?
You play an instrument?
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
what do you play?
I mess around. Drums.
Why have we not seen you on the drums yet?
I've got a few out there, but not a whole lot. But again, I look at that as be real. Like, I can do that, and that's not a problem. I mean, all I got to do is set the camera right here, hit record, do it for 30 seconds, and now I've got, I'm doing 7-second intervals. I got, 4 or 5 different things I can do, but you can use the same one over and over. It doesn't really matter, but.
I know, but I think they're visually appealing. People might click on that. Right?
I'll do it today.
It's gonna break up our faces and get a different group of people. And you can message in the captions or in the you can do text across the screen. I think I'd probably click on that, right?
Okay. Would you use the original audio?
Yeah. I guess
it's an electronic drum set, so the audio doesn't come through the way that you would think it would, which is weird. Like, you think it would, but it doesn't. It's probably where my speakers are angled. I'm not looking at changing that up. Right.
Troy, what's going on?
Not a lot, fellas. Just listening to you.
Not a lot. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, like, we're getting so much shit done, I don't have time to even talk about it.
Man, I had to take a mental health weekend and spend the weekend behind a welding hood, man. I had to be somewhere other than the desk for a little while.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I got grand total this done this weekend.
No worries.
Where is your reel from the behind the welding mask?
Right?
I feel like that would be super interesting. People are going to click on that. Like, what is this guy doing?
No?
That's a 30-second.
Okay.
30-second errand right there. Whoops. I hit play. Oh, then I stopped it.
Okay.
That's something I have a problem with too. Like, just being conscientious of a be real, or B-roll opportunity, I don't really think about it. Like when I do a video, it's very intentional. It's like, okay, I have a vague idea of what I'm going to say. I have a vague idea of how it's going to turn out. I rarely think about, like, just film yourself for 10 seconds typing on a computer. Film yourself for 20 seconds playing drums. Film yourself, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it is, wait for the coffee to be done.
Or why not film the coffee?
Film the coffee.
Or film the water element you're sitting by for 30 seconds and then put your voice behind it. Or I think there's a lot of ways to break this up that we miss on a daily basis. Like, there's a lot of interesting things that occur around us. I've actually kind of had fun with that in the past, to be a little more present and go, look how beautiful that pond over there is. That would also be fantastic for content. I don't know.
Not wrong.
2 for 1.
So riddle me this, Batman.
Yeah.
Because this is where I run into a problem as well. Doing that, creating, B-roll, the organization of it.
Oh, I don't ask that.
Okay.
No.
That is something that's just, I look at my phone and it's like, okay, if I scroll up like 3 months, then boom, there it is. And I'm already looking at, my Google Drive going, okay, I've already used up 40 gigs of 100 that I have. And I don't even know what half of that shit is. But it's like, what is a good organizational process for B-roll and, not and for these other videos, but specifically for B-roll, and, not trying to think too much about when it's appropriate to use it, but I just got shit everywhere.
I almost have to use it immediately. I don't know. I'm not very good at organization in the first place, so you're really barking up the wrong tree on that one. Troy probably has a system.
Ish.
He's like, I don't fucking use B-roll. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's all you.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I have an ish system, but I have tons of folders, and I separate it out down to the minutia so that I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I can find exactly what I'm looking for. That's but then admittedly I spend way too much time going back and looking for stuff. I think, Brian, you're, that inner voice tells me all the time, dude, don't save it, just get it done now, because you're gonna fucking lose it. Yeah, so ish.
I bet I know who's got a great system. Mr. Jim Christopher.
I bet you're right.
To your point about, getting things like foldered and organized and all that, and I've tried that in the past, and I get lost in my own filing system. What I would name something today is not what I would look for a week from now. It's not the way that I would look for it. And I guess you kind of, in a way, have to play yourself. It's like if I know that if I put this into a database somewhere in some kind of filing system, if I know enough about me to say that I know that I'll never find this again and never be able to use it, and it was just it's wasted storage space that's being used up, then the game I have to play with myself is more of like if you don't use it today, delete it. But use it today because you have it. I think that's a little bit more of where I'm going to have to lean into.
I think for me, if I would simply put it in an album, I could at least search through that album because I have so many pictures and most of them are of Ava. So going back to find anything at all is very, very challenging. And I just don't tag it when I take it. I need to tag it. That would help me significantly.
I know of probably 10 or 11 pieces of B-roll off the top of my head that I've taken in the last month that I can easily get to and might be worth actually using. But I also know I've probably got about 6 or 7 days worth of B-roll that I'll never look at, never find, and never take the time to go through and go, nope, delete. Oh, no, not working, delete. There's just too many other things.
And as a side note, I ran into the Google Drive issue and I upgraded to the terabyte plan because it's easier to upgrade than it is to delete. And it's significantly cheaper than Zoom's storage space. Google is actually reasonable. And I think between the 17 accounts that we probably have, there's space out there somewhere.
I've got, 5 or 6 different Gmails, and I want to say, let's see, where are you?
And they all come with 100?
No. So I've got one, the majority of them are like 15.
15 gig.
But they're such in their infancy. Like,
You're the G Suite, right? And G Suite, doesn't that come with a terabyte?
I don't know. Does
I think it does, and I think it's automatically shared. It comes with more than standard because you're paying for it. And then I upgraded my personal account to more storage because that's where I tend to dump everything. And it's like $10 a month. It's death by paper clips or paper cuts or paper clips.
Death by 1,000 paper clips.
That's not.
The more I go through this stuff, the more I want like just not look at it and go back to
Just film more.
just filming, just film and
Film
just post.
Film, post, delete. Film, post, delete.
Yep.
Yep. What, anything else that we need to be focusing on other than what we've been doing? Trying to get some momentum?
I think we're still at that particular stage. For me, so as I mentioned earlier before you got on Troy, all I'm really doing right now is taking those concept filler ideas and just starting with one. Like, what is the very first one of the very first box of the very first pillar, and then just walking down the line. That's every day. That's what you're going to see in terms of of content coming out. Like I don't. At first, I would thought about like, well, what if I needed? Would it be better to just kind of like jump around and be one in information and then one in application and then one in optimization? But fuck that. That's too much energy for me to think about. Where am I? Which ones have I done? Which ones haven't? If I do it like that, then I got to start highlighting and say, okay, well, you did this one last week. I'm just starting at one and working my way through. But I am creating, the TikTok, the Instagram through the repurpose. That's going also to the Facebook page. I'm having it create a Twitter post or X post out of it as well. And I think what I'll end up doing, because I'm starting to get into a rhythm with that sort of process, that I'll probably end up doing like 2 a day. So of the 180 some odd pieces of content within those 3 content pillars, it'll end up being about 90 days worth. And then you just cycle it over again.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it is helpful to roll into your accounts and just take one of your reels and post it back as a story.
Run that by me one more time.
So go into your Instagram account as an example and grab a reel that you posted earlier in the month and just send it out as your story.
You can do that?
Oh, yeah. You're just reusing. And it's a different audience because it's on your story.
Okay.
Just constantly recycling that stuff. Getting it back out there. Especially one that's like did well.
The other thing that I'm that I'm focused on incorporating into the posts, not specific, but definitely something that you could consider as value additive. So, for example, the one from this morning was around SEO, and I just wanted to make sure it's like, hey, look, it's very important for new entrepreneurs, blah, blah, blah. Here's 3 free ones you can use. Go use them. By the way, we've got a bunch of free stuff over at thecohortiv.com. I mean, I think the whole thing's like 23 seconds. But again, it's not just about, the Cohort IV, but using free stuff to say, hey, here's something free, here's also something free. Go. And that kind of being, not necessarily a theme, but it's definitely something I want to be cognizant of each time I'm putting something out there, because I don't want to just be a talking head and be like, you're doing this. If you're not doing this, that's why you suck. Yeah. Maybe that'll be a post. I don't know. Helpful. Not quite the vibe that I bring to the table. Like, I know that enough about myself,
Right.
I'm like the one that's out in left field somewhere most of the time. Troy can be angry dad.
Sometimes. Maybe on Mondays.
Maybe on Mondays. That's fair. You got any advice for us?
Well, I don't know that I have any advice.
Direction?
No.
Is there any back office stuff that is still kind of left in limbo right now?
Probably.
I keep remembering DNS being a topic of discussion. I can't remember if we ever put that one to bed or not. And it's not me trying to change the subject. I'm just trying to think, okay, we're all in the places that we are with the biggest focus, which is content. So So, I've seen more stuff coming out from Jim. I've seen more stuff coming out from Brian. I'm putting stuff out. Troy, we know what your process is right now. Is there anything from not stuff to necessarily work on to like create, because that creation right now is content, but back office fixes that need to be cognizant of. Again, DNS being just the first example that kind of came to mind.
Yeah, and website SEO, redirects, some of that stuff was still hanging out there. That's one of the biggest ones. We never did finish any sort of operating agreement. That's out there loosely on my list. It's not the most critical thing.
Okay.
So there's still stuff we could be working on, for sure.
I'm definitely not trying to give us more to do. I at least know how I am. And if I don't remind myself every once in a while that something's been sitting, then I'll completely forget about it.
Yeah.
And I think my memory's a lot worse than you guys. So it's really bad. So if I don't jog the old noodle every once in a while, then it will definitely get lost in the ether. And the number of times that has turned around and bit me in the ass, I cannot count on 2 hands and 2 feet. So
we tentatively talked about using Fiverr to solve some of our website issues. I'm not sure how to go down that rabbit hole necessarily. How do you have them help you with that?
So the question then becomes, at least for me, being specific on the ask. So what is it exactly that we need help with? Like DNS server issues?
Yeah, I think we have to run it back through one of the website evaluation tools and fix some of those problems.
Helps you spell correctly.
What's that?
That it helps if you spell it correctly. Let's see. So I just typed in DNS server troubleshoot.
In Fiverr? Mm-hmm. Maybe figure that. DNS website. SEO.
Well, if you want to do the whole shebang, like everything all at once, or are you thinking about doing it in pieces?
Yeah, we can find it off. I think running it back through the eval to see what problems are critical. Like, it doesn't seem to not work. But it's certainly not optimized based on the results Troy received from his evaluation using the tool, if I understand correctly.
So you just used a term that I think would be very helpful here, optimization. What, from a vernacular standpoint, what would be the best way to state all of the different elements that we're trying to optimize into a 3 or 4 word search statement?
Stand by.
And this is all based on Kartra, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, because Kartra is hosting, except for Squarespace. Squarespace is the DNS, and we've got redirects in there, and I think there was a problem with, not a problem with the redirects, but the DNS is handling, Squarespace is handling the redirects, so I don't know what you do to make that better. And when you get into the technology side of things, it's not that I can't understand it, it's just that it takes me a hot second. Alright, so I'm looking at like page performance. Quick performance summary. Is it quick? Needs improvement. Is it usable? Needs improvement. Is it resilient? Needs improvement. Largest contentful paint, 7.146 seconds. I guess that's slow. Cumulative layoff shift, 0.3 seconds. Total blocking time. So I think it's optimization. Is it broken? No. Is it quick? Needs improvement.
And this is from the Kartra side, or the Squarespace side, or some combination of both?
This is probably the web page, the website itself. Content breakdown. Oh my god. See, it's just so much to try to digest. Where do you start? All right, there's 10 opportunities under is it quick? This test had a slow first byte time. Use server timing headers to identify slow server text. Free Java files are blocking page renderings. Does that help any? Yeah. I mean, I think you would, maybe if you want to run an eval, you could get a sense of what I'm talking about here. Then you can go, oh, I see what you mean.
Well, I'm typing in different, different searches, and what's predominantly coming up are things like, website designer, funnel builder, that kind of stuff. And that's not, I'm sure at some point we would want something like that to zhuzh up what we've got, but right now it's just, is it optimized and working for what it is? And not necessarily seeing website maintenance.
Like we got a performance of 35 out of 100. Our accessibility is good. Our best practices are good. Our SEO is actually pretty good, 91. But so is there a website optimization expert out there?
Well, I typed that in specifically, and there's a lot here.
Well, it's kind of like there's a lot here on this eval. You feel me?
I do, but again, where I'm going with that is this. What I'm seeing are things like specifically around, WordPress speed optimization with audit report, speed optimization, specific to Shopify.
Do a Kartra search, Kartra website optimization.
Kartra landing page sales funnel that converts. Sales funnel.
We have sales funnels. Kartra is for sales funnels, though. That is what it does. but it's also hosting our website.
I would do website, landing page, funnel page, auto-spawn, so it's
Oh, it says
all the front end work, not all the back end work. Funnel.
I think we're too fancy on our website.
What?
Avoid large layout shifts. 15 layout shifts found. Fonts. There's a lot of fonts.
But most of those are in images.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fonts. I intentionally put all the fonts in images so that we're not having that issue.
I don't know. This has. Okay, I believe you. Cookies. It's just mostly a speed issue, it looks like.
So I think the biggest issue we were having was with emails going to spam because the DNS wasn't registering a return ISP or IP, rather, IP.
Say that one more time.
So if I recall correctly, the biggest issue we were having was with the emails going to spam because the DNS header was not registering a return IP.
Okay, so I think that we have fixed the spam issue.
Okay.
I think. Because every spam filter I ran that through was receiving good marks.
Okay.
Now, if we see that people are not receiving, sorry, my sister's ID expired today, and as you know, I've taken over all accountability for all things that have to happen in their household. So I'm distracted by, do you even have utility bills to prove that you exist? I think we tested it with new email addresses, right? And they went to the right place. I think we're okay until we see otherwise with the spam.
Okay.
I think. Can we tentatively put that into the let's test it bucket?
I'm game. If you give it a clean bill of health, I'm groovy with that. I got no issues, and I think that a lot of the other stuff, if we're having slow website, if we're having a problem with website loading, right now we're sending everybody to funnel. So have we tested the load speed of the funnels? Because they're very simple. So the funnels themselves should load very quickly.
The funnel those should load very quickly.
Yeah, that's where we're sending everybody. We're not sending them to our homepage. So if we're testing a homepage, then I think we're probably testing something that isn't an issue because we're not driving traffic to it.
I think Matt is driving traffic to the homepage.
Are you?
Everything that I've been putting out has some sort of CTA to the cohortiv.com, whether in the physical video, but typically physical video and in the caption.
Okay.
So, yes, I am telling people to go there.
Okay.
And in some cases, I'm telling them specifically go to the course collections free page to download Fearless You Workbook.
Okay. What is the response time on that course collection free ship page? Is that loading slow? Because that was a fairly, if I recall, that was a fairly
What is the
simple.
I mean,
I don't have any memorized.
it pops up like within what? 3/4. I mean, Jesus Christ, like 3/4 of a second, like boom.
Okay.
Which one?
So when I go to, now this is different. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. Hold on a second. Yeah, every page. So I go to the home page, and then I'm just navigating through, our solutions, and then collections, and then down to the complimentary goodies, and everything is just boom, 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 coming up really quick.
You also have it in your cache.
Okay.
So if somebody's doing this my point is, if somebody's doing this for the first time, it might be a different experience.
I didn't think about that.
So the 3 PDFs. Stand by, Troy. I'm sorry. Performance is 64. Performance 64, accessibility 87, best practices 100%. Good job. And SEO is 54, which I don't know that we care about SEO for a funnel.
Not for a funnel.
Sounds like the first contentful paint, whatever the hell that means, is 3.5 seconds.
Okay, that's a bit slow. It's not insane, but
Serve images in next-gen formats. Avoid large layout shifts. Properly sized images, largest content, paint elements. Minimize main thread work. I don't know what any of this crap means. Largest content full paint is 4.6 seconds. Speed index 3.5 seconds. And that's on mobile.
mm-hmm.
On desktop is brilliant. So it's mostly mobile.
Okay.
So on desktop it's 94, 92, 100, and 54 for SEO. Said we didn't care about. There's a red cumulative layout shift. So, but that's the only thing. It's mostly the mobile. Just information. I don't know how to fix that. Just throwing it out there.
I think I can address that. I think I know how to address that. Probably just have some images sized wrong. So that likely isn't going to be a very big issue.
To fix or to load time?
To fix, so
Okay.
so we can trim down the load time.
Okay. But so generically speaking, it would be best, where possible, to send them to a funnel.
Yeah. Yes. Just because funnels are optimized for the traffic.
Okay.
So people go to a website to learn your story, to find out who you are. They go information seeking. When people are information seeking, load times aren't quite as relevant. There's, when you tell somebody, hey, you tell your kid, hey, go get me the scissors. They're in the office. They walk in the office, they open the door, they don't see the scissors, they come back, say, I can't find it. And then they go back about their business, right? I mean, that's just juvenile psychology. And that's what people work on when you give them a call to action and tell them to go do something. They open the door, and if it's not sitting right there, if the scissors aren't sitting right there on the desk, then they're like, I can't find it, and they go about it. Cool. But if the kid needs the scissors and goes to look in the office, they tear the office apart. They find your stash of M&Ms in the desk drawer, and they start counting change, and they play Tetris. And then when they realize they can't find the scissors, they go about their business. That's the juvenile psychology that works with websites. If they're looking for it, they're going to the website to look for something. The load time doesn't matter.
Okay. Just understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's ridiculous, I'm sure it starts to matter. But if it's reasonable, which ours seems very reasonable, they will look.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. One that amazes me. You guys ought to look at his page. Go look at tedmcgrath.com. Right. His website it dumbfounds me that it's even productive, because some of his load times are, he's got these extravagant images and shit that it's crazy load time. But in talking to him, well, it's been years now since I talked to him. His website had next to no traffic because everything is funnel based.
Are you sure it's tedmcgrath.com?
No.
I only ask because I've got it up. it's a resume. Did he work for Yahoo?
No. Oh, Ted McGrath Brands. BRANDS.com.
Okay. This seems a little more. You know what? I mean, I know I and we are not there yet with certain aspects of website building, but there are just always these cool little elements that I see in certain websites, like, you know, like for his, you know, when you hover over the message to millions, you know, the changing color and it's got the background as you filter through, like, jumps in and out. The buttons look different, you know, for yes, I need this. Change when the arrow's not on it versus on it. Like, just, I know it's stupid little things that at the end of the day probably don't mean that much, but like, I appreciate whoever put that together.
It's absolutely the lipstick and rouge of it all. You know, it undoubtedly is, and that's something that I think we work on intermittently as this grows. You know, I have on my calendar, I have time set aside every month for website optimization. That's part of what I work on. Update SEO. You know, I've got a day every month that I need to ensure that our SEO is operating properly. You know, I think you're right. I think the lipstick and rouge does matter. That's just something that we grow into. If I remember correctly, no, it's not if I remember correctly. When I knew him, he was using Kajabi. So I don't know if his website is still hosted by Kajabi. And Kajabi had an editor, a website editor, where you could go in and input every bit of the code. Whereas Kartra has insert code spots. Okay, so we can do all of that. We can create all of that if we know the code. I don't know how to code that shit. I don't want to know how to code that shit. There will come a time where I will fucking hire somebody to code that shit. But you know, right now, we don't have the traffic.
I know.
And you know, but going back to what I was saying about him and his website, was when I was talking to him, you know, he had literally millions of people a month landing in his funnels, but he had like sub 1,000 landing on his homepage.
He was driving everybody to the funnel.
Everything was going to funnel.
There's no, generally speaking, websites are just a endorsement mechanism. So you're just going to make sure they're legit.
Yep.
It's not really a sales mechanism.
Nope. the way I equate it to like clients and whatnot, and I think I even have part of a program that has this. Maybe it's something that we haven't published yet. But I say that in storytelling, your website is your backstory. You know, it's your about me. It's the you know, it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi story of Star Wars. You know, and it's so website speed optimization. I have a hard time buying the argument that it's vital.
Okay. As long as our funnels are working.
Yeah, as long as the funnels are working. I have a hard time believing that is anywhere near as vital as the funnels.
Funnels and email.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to have working.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how to really get people from Instagram to a funnel. Website seems easier, but a funnel. How do we get them to the funnel? That's just in the captions?
I mean, it's kind of, I look at it this way. It's all in deference to kind of like what you're talking about. So, for example, if I need an email, okay, what different ways, either through the website or through the funnels, do I have to get an email? Well, I know that if people opt into Fearless You Workbook, I'm going to get their email. Okay? How do I want to talk about Fearless You Workbook? And then where is that going to show up to be able to get them easily to it, to be able to opt into it? Well, the first one that I did was on a piece of the Fearless You Workbook. It was like, hey, we've identified 8 steps of change. They're in the workbook. There's a ton of other value in that. Go to this link to get it for yourself. So I put the Course Collections free page link in there because I don't think that there's a specific page, opt-in page, other than the opt-in page that pops up when you click on Fearless You Workbook on the Collections free page. Like, you have to do that before you get the opt-in page or the opt-in pop-up. So that was one example. I took something that was in the Fearless You Workbook to drive people to the Fearless You Workbook and get them to leave their email. Does that make sense?
It
At
does.
least for how I'm thinking about it. There's probably a more efficient way, but
Cohort Workbook and Journal Lander. Is that the...
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, it's unpublished.
Okay, then.
Oh no. Cohort, it's there. Never mind. /worklander.
What's that?
/workbooklander. Does that sound?
Hold on a second. Let me.
We have so many.
There we do.
Oh, this one was slow though.
Yeah, so the Cohort Workbook and Journal Lander.
It's /workbook lander.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the most recent.
Yep, that's the most recent.
Cool. Okay.
And part of the reason why that one's going to load slow is because it's not, I haven't gone back to it and updated the URL so that it can catalog properly.
Is that something that's easy to do?
Mm-hmm.
You just change that in the link.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It is 61 performance, 87 accessibility, 54 SEO. Similar on desktop.
What was the first numbers?
61.
Okay. All right. I can't, because I'm running Zoom and whatnot. I'm not going to try to get in and do it now, but I'll put it in my to-do list. Okay. It's in my to-do. See, it's taken forever for Karcher to do any response to me.
Too many things going on.
I got too much shit going on.
I have 25 tabs open, I think.
Christ. I think I've got like 80 something.
I feel better. So much better.
Well, I've got about 28 on one profile, and then 5 on another profile, and 6 on another profile. And
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Okay. Continue with our marching orders in general.
keep doing what you're doing.
Just try to get into funnels.
Just, like I said, thus far, I've just been sending them to the page and having them click on, rather than sending them directly to the lander, sending them to the page. And
isn't the only free stuff, though, on the entire page, the 3 PDFs?
the
workbook.
the workbook's on there too.
Is it? On the website?
Hope so.
I don't know that it is.
Yeah, it's the very first one. Free.
On the homepage?
On the homepage or
The free collections.
I go into free collections, like course collections free.
Our solutions, course collections.
Because there's nothing on the homepage.
Complimentary goodies, but you're sending them to the homepage.
Yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It just depends on what I'm doing. So, for example, when I talk specifically about Fearless You Workbook, I send them to Course Collections Free Goodies page.
Okay.
Generally speaking, like when I'm like for example today when I was talking about SEO, I was like, hey, here's this. Go check out all the other cool stuff that we have over at the cohortiv.com. So it's more of a generality call to action to go to the site than it is give me your email. I'm trying to space some of that stuff out. So it's like exposure, exposure, exposure. Give me your email. Exposure, exposure, exposure. Give me your email.
Okay. I see it now. Thank you for that.
I don't know why. I'm hesitant to make every single post specifically about like fearless you. Give me your email. I feel better about 80-20. 80% of it is value. If you want to learn more, go over here, and then 20% of it, hey, go to this lander, get this thing that we're offering. This is how it'll help you.
I mean, some of the CTAs could just be follow me for more.
Yeah, simple as that.
Just audience base to talk to would be helpful, right? One of my Instagram accounts it only has like 68 followers, so that's not a huge audience to talk to. Luckily, that's not who's viewing my stuff. Anyway. All right. I'm slowly inching back to 1,000 accounts reached in the last 30 days. I was like 4,800 for a while there.
Is that a thing? Like,
yeah,
I don't know anything about the analytics on Instagram. I don't know jack shit.
Instagram business account and click on your profile, which is the bottom right-hand corner picture. Or I don't know what it is in desktop. But if you go to your profile, right above edit profile, it says professional dashboard, 995 accounts reached in the last 30 days. If you click that, it'll show you analytics. It'll even show you what was the most. So like of the 989 accounts I've reached, the vast majority were non-followers. And then it tells me which ones were the most popular reels. My Fishy Kiss reached 173, followed by Alex, my dog, with 136. Walking yesterday was relatively popular.
So 507 accounts reached in the last 30 days.
Okay.
So what am I looking for after that?
If you click it,
yep,
you'll see, and you click on accounts reached, again, it'll show you more detailed analysis. Like 96.5% of my views are from non-followers.
97.2.
Yeah.
For me.
That's probably because I only have 68 people, and one of them is Sarah, right? So she likes everything, and that's probably my 3.5%. But I got, 1,300 impressions, which is still down 81% from my last month. But that's because I stopped posting, and I don't have my toaster oven. It doesn't count anymore. It fell out of the 30 days, and that was my 4,800 views or whatever. So my one good piece of content fell out of the 30 days, and I'm screwed.
So let's go back to that, because this is where I came in. You guys were talking about B rolls. Okay, so secondary roles, right? I mean, it's movie terms, right? B rolls. Okay, all right. Making sure I'm tracking. So, give me the argument on why in our industry and what we're doing, why you recommend B-rolls? What's...
So the general philosophy is this. Different people like different types of content. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Sometimes what people want to interact with is, they just want to read something on a screen with with some sort of background to it. Not everything, quote unquote should. Not everything has to be you in front of the camera talking. If you wanted to put content out there that had a great hook, that had, a call to action on it, if you had to put something in the background, what would you do? Well, would you want to put something that at least has you in it? Would you want to put something that's, relatively interesting?
Okay.
Whatever. It's not like it doesn't have to, but if I don't have time to actually stand there and really cut a video, or if I just want to put out something really quick, being able to pull from B-roll of some description to have as a background, to just have a text overlay on top of it, is a really quick way to get content out there. Again, people engage in different types of content, and I have seen just text overlay content with millions of views. So it's legit. It's just a matter of, is that in your arsenal or not?
Okay. Cool. This is, I think this is a downfall of mine, is that I am not a content consumer.
I can see how that would be a problem.
Yeah. No,
But at the same time, you found where your content lands well, which is really, that's probably more important than being a consumer.
Yeah.
Your audience and where they pick up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I fall into the trap a lot of times, but really, at the end of the day, along those same lines, the only real reason to be a content consumer as a content creator is to be able to ideate on content that you can create. If something is working well, how can I adapt that to my process? You can go down a rabbit hole, and it really, really sucks. But if your audience is all about entrepreneurship, go into Instagram, type in as a search word entrepreneurship, and look at what's got a shit ton of views, and then copy it. And that could be just one way it's more of a growth post than anything else. It's just to reach a lot of people and get them to follow, and then turn around and then back it up with all the stuff that you typically will do in your own voice, in your own creative. Like, no shit, that's how I've got 5,000 TikTok followers. I copied somebody else's post on something that was relatively close to what I do, and then all around it is just stuff that I created on my own. So.
That's all Ian is doing, and he's getting tons of views.
Yeah.
And actually selling some products.
What's he selling?
So that course that I picked up, which teaches you to copy other people's posts.
Okay.
It just shows you step by step how to do it. And the difference is that you attempted to automate it for me, right, and make it like smooth, whereas it's just blunt force.
So you're talking about Ian from coaching?
Yeah.
Ian Carpenter.
Carpenter, yeah, Ian. No shit.
Yeah.
What's his handle? Success with Ian?
Yeah, I think he's got a couple, because I think he got some folks were copying him. Because he's doing well, and so people were copying him. I think he had a couple now. But that's with Ian, and his wife is doing it too. Kiko. Out there. And it seems to be working for him, another 5-figure day. A lot of it work.
No kidding. Good for him.
It's a high
I
ticket.
know, right?
Yeah, so he finally found someone that works for him, and he just basically copies other people's stuff.
Good for him.
You say it was or was not high ticket?
It is high ticket. Yeah, it's a $3,000 offer, and I think the commission's pretty high on it.
Good for him.
Actually, I think you can look at the offer. Let me make sure it's still working. Yeah, if you, the Brian Way, BRYAN Way.com, have a redirect to the offer. Anyway, if you're curious.
I'm very curious.
But he's doing pretty well with it. I'm not doing well with it at all, but I'd rather sell our stuff anyway, so I'm okay with that.
What do you think the difference is between how you're going about doing it and how he's going about doing it?
He is super consistent and very diligent about stealing stuff that works, whereas I have not been consistent, and I am much more comfortable with my own content. To me, it's much more time consuming to go find somebody's post that I like enough to copy and then copy it, because there's usually a ton of text. It's kind of slow and painful. I can do it, but it takes me time. Whereas I can, I can fire off my own stuff. It takes me 10 minutes to create a decent, engaging post. Like some of my most engaging stuff has been 5-minute content creation. It's just so fast. When you are filming a bagel cooking in the toaster oven, it's 4,800 views. It doesn't take a long time. Right? Did I sell anything? No. But I did change all of my websites to point at the Cohort IV. So at least all those links are there now if folks check out my bio. So that should be the next thing, is to have them do some call to action. Anyway, that's why I haven't been successful with it, because I haven't followed his approach. And I recognize that. And also, I'm so sick of freaking modules. I'm just sick of modules, man. Everybody has one, and I'm tired of modules. I got like halfway through the course. Like, I'm so tired of modules. So tired of modules.
Well, because it's, I feel where you're coming from with that. Because it's all information. It's not application.
It's
just, here's a brain dump. Here's what you should be doing. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. And it's catered to everybody. It's just like, look, on a least common denominator, without getting into specifics, if you generally do these things, go get a website, go get, a funnel builder, go get, a CRM, put all those things together, you'll be making 5 figures a day in no time. It's not all the work behind it, And if I see one more goddamn mindset module, I will blow my shit. Like, dude, fuck mind. I have the mindset right now to burn your mindset module to the ground. Like, stop telling me how to think. Show me what to do.
I will say that once you get through the mindset on his course, it's very practical. It is step by step. Take this video. Here's how you strip out the sound. Here's how you strip out the text. It is step by step. Once you get through a very short bit of mindset, I'm I'm just over the modules. I'm still over it. But you have to work. You still have to work. You still have to be consistent. And I haven't been consistent.
Why not? What's holding you back?
I get the squirrel syndrome. And then, when it doesn't work, I'm like, maybe it's the wrong offer. But I haven't really tried for 90 days. So it's, I can self-diagnose the problem. Stay true to the course. And it'll eventually happen. And I want to serve too many people. I want to serve business owners. I want to serve, I want to serve dads and vets and moms going through transition. And I want to help everybody. And I just don't have a focused niche.
I already know, I've already seen it. Those content pillars for Cohort, that's exactly, I feel like that's something that I really needed in order to stay consistent. Because then it's just a matter of, this is the one you're doing today.
Yeah.
There's no, you don't have to look any further. That's the one you're doing today. Now, set up the camera, get your script, and knock it out, and then go. So, for me, I think that's going to work out much better than, waking up and going, what
do I feel like today?
What do I feel like today? Fuck feelings. It does not, the more feelings get involved with the decision making that you're doing about being consistent, about actually fucking taking action, in my case at least, the worse the outcome. Because I will find, fuck, I want to do it, but, my feeling towards the fact that this hasn't been done is a little bit stronger right now, so let me go do that. I hate to admit this. This morning, I made the conscious decision. I was like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do from now on. Because I have to hold myself accountable somehow. Before it was difficult to hold myself accountable when I hadn't already thought of what it is that I'm going to talk about. So then I just wasted so much time in the morning thinking about what it is that I was actually going to do, and then not doing it because the day got away with me because I took too long to figure it out. Well, now you know what. You have a list of things that you can do. Start with one, work down the list. Now what it's about. Now it's about when you do it. When you set aside the time to actually do it. Well, then you need to be consistent about that. All right, how are you going to do it? Well, to stay honest with myself and to stay true to what my intent is with the cohort, I will have this thing every single day. I will have it out before we have our meeting. Before 8 a.m. Eastern, I will have at least one out. I know what I'm going to talk about. I'll have the script done the night before. It doesn't matter. I will have it done before 8 a.m. before this meeting, but I will do it 8 a.m. every day of the week. At least that one, if not two. The second would come later in the day if I've got time, whatever. But I will at least get one out. And because it's syndicated, it'll end up being 4 total posts. So, go with that. Be consistent with that. Can you do that? There's no reason why I can't do that. No reason. No feeling, no excuse, no nothing. There's shit going on between 7 and 8 o'clock that I can't get it done. I've already, if I take the kids to school, I'm back by 7:30. It does not take 30 minutes to record and post something.
Yeah, it does not. I'm with you. I hear what you're saying. That is the best way to be consistent. I'm on a better track right this second with consistency than I have been.
I've been impressed and I've noticed.
Yeah, and I've been able to share it and get it out there too. I put some up on my story and some I just repost, and so that's good too, right? So we're getting more exposure with. We can cross share stuff.
Something else that popped up here recently that is not specifically tied into this, but I'll be vulnerable for a second. the chest pains that I had 2 years ago at my old job, they've started to come back. And it's not, I know why. And it's not concerning just yet to the point where I need to change medications or anything like that, but it's the day job all over again. Like, I know for a fact that that's what it is. So, if I wasn't motivated before, definitely motivated now, because something's got to change. It's got to change before the end of the year. Not for the sake of like something bad happening. Who knows? It could. But this is a warning sign that the conditions that I'm dealing with are not conducive to a healthy lifestyle. And I'm kind of surprised it took this long, but that's where I'm at. So, this consistency, this, having a plan, this being intentional about making this work, that's not that wasn't a reason, but since it's reared its ugly head again, it's like, yeah, I can't do this working for somebody else horse shit for much longer.
Yes, and you were also in the midst of quite a bit of personal development, which you haven't, been able to do. It's been a year, right, since Influence?
Has it been a year or has it been 2?
It's been a year for me. I went in March.
You did that last year?
I went in March of 2023. And you went before me.
Oh, yeah, I was in 2022. I was like September, August, September, something like that.
You went straight from Impact. Yeah, so you were just 6 months ahead of me or something like that.
Yeah.
Year and a half almost without refresher, which I'm sure was helping you cope with less than ideal situations, right? So that means there's, things that could be done in the meantime while switching paths.
Between everything that we've got going on, and like with Cohort and everything that I'm doing outside of Cohort, the first goal is $1,000 a day. If I can just start pulling in $1,000 a day across all the things, then I'll be in a much better position to say, all right, I'm done with Ultramobile, done with the W2, done with all that. Then the goal is going to be $1,000 a day from each of those vehicles. And there's not that many, but they all take work. They all take time.
Yeah.
And there's only so much that you can do in one. Like, if all I did was Cohort, like, it would never get off the ground because everybody would be tired of me talking.
About Cohort.
Dude, shut the fuck up already, okay? It's starting to turn into a module. So
No more modules.
But I know me, and I have to be juggling a couple of different things at the same time to be able to make any progress in any one. God, I had an old boss that I had a tendency to, if I only had one thing, like if there's only one project I was working on, it seemed to take the longest. And if I had 4 projects, I get them all done on time. And I said something to him one day at work, and he's like, well, because I know you, and if you don't have 3 or 4 things that you're working on at the same time, this one thing you're never going to complete because you're worried that once you complete that you don't have anything else behind it to do. Like, you have to have something, you got to be doing something, or have a goal, or have some sort of project that needs to be pushed forward. And it's that final, it's that that idea of completion that, for whatever reason, doesn't compute well with you. And this is another example. It's like, I can't just do one thing. Now, I'm getting to the point where what my day job is giving me is too many projects because they're bastards and they want everything done last minute and they promise the impossible to the sales team and then just expect me to, pull a rabbit out of my ass. It's like, well, I'm not excited about the company anymore. I'm not excited about the people that I work with. I'm not excited about any aspect of what I do other than it's keeping a roof over our heads. But I got to have these other things to be able to keep pushing. And that's the weird thing. Like, I don't think that I don't think cohort rock dads, I don't think that those things are having the adverse effect on my physiology the way that the day job is.
No, because you like it.
Because I enjoy doing it.
Right. And you're potentially going to help other people.
Potentially help other people, do it on my terms, do it in my way, not have to listen to other people's stupid fucking ideas about how to move forward. Not making progress in the areas not putting work into areas that are known that need to be worked on. There is the element of, one man can only do so much, but that's why you have fiber.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'll give up my soapbox.
Can I add something?
Sure. Please. I've talked way too much today.
Right. So, earlier you said, you're talking about fuck your feelings. I don't remember the context of it, but it grabbed me because you realize that's the title of one of my books. If this is where you're at, dude, you need to be selling or giving away my fucking book.
What's
I mean,
it called again?
Fuck your feelings.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I know that, but it didn't come up. I wasn't thinking about that when I said it. It was just the visceral, gut reaction to, God damn it, my feelings get in the way.
Yeah.
My feelings get in the way.
Do we have a funnel?
Well, I just don't feel like it's the right context. I don't feel like I said it the right way. I don't feel like it's the right lighting. I don't feel like, fuck your goddamn feelings. Just record it and go. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
That's the internal dialogue that I have with myself. It's just, what the fuck are you actually afraid of?
Right?
What is the worst thing that could possibly happen? The 20 people that watch your content now are not going to like it. Who cares?
Yep. Yeah, but no, Brian, we don't have a funnel for that yet. That's where I kind of left off recently. I was rebranding those from the Troy McClain and turning them into cohort editions, and I just haven't gone back to that. I haven't revisited that. But I should probably put that high on my to-do list because they're proven to sell.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's something, and I'm sorry to cut you off. We're starting to talk about add-ons and different things. What if I already know what I'm doing from a social media content perspective. I've got the outline. That's what I'm doing. But things like this, like topics that aren't going to be in there, things that hit a little bit closer to home. They're not as universal, but it's more about, well, I hate to say it, but more mindset oriented. I believe that it might be an opportune time in the very near future to start taking these meetings and these videos and just coming together about a topic like that and just waxing poetic for 30, 45 minutes on it. And then turning around and putting that on Cohort IV YouTube or something to that effect. So like just internal discussions about how we see approaching business, the way that we do it, being intentional and what that looks like, and like what, not necessarily the mindsets, but what are the absolute head changes that you have to have in order to make that kind of intentional progress, that to achieve that victory that you're looking for. Part of it is things like that. Is look, you are going to get to a point where you are so distraught about the content that you're putting out. Is it good enough? Will it resonate? It's going to get you to the point of inaction. Because it's happened to all of us at some point or another. It's happened to all of us. And having gone through that gauntlet, the conclusion that at least I had made is fuck whatever it is that you're feeling. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't help you hit post. Hitting post means more than whatever your feelings do. But having like a topic list like that, that's something that we could just, again, my 2 cents, your 2 cents, my 2 cents, your 2 cents, that kind of stuff. And just have to be able to start busting down into YouTube Shorts and posting full links on YouTube. Shit, we could bring people in. We can start bringing people in and having group discussions about that and throwing it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And doing it all before we have our coachings, like our coaching groups. Like this is the environment that you're going to get into if you're going to be coaching with us. Like you want real, no BS talk, that's what we do. Because we're old, we're crotchety, and we're sick of this shit.
You know what? We have all these videos saved, and everything that I have recorded is in the Cohort Google Drive. We can start parsing it up and doing that now.
We could. The difference between, I think, what I'm talking about and those is that the ones I'm talking about, start to finish, are focused. And a lot of what we've done in the past has been, let me rephrase, focused on a particular topic that would be specific or be relevant to who the audience will end up being, which is, let's call it a YouTube audience, versus a lot of the content that we've already done has been around how do we fix our business? How do we fix Cohort IV? I don't know that that's something that I would want to put out there.
Okay. Well, would VidIO or whatever it is, wouldn't it pull out like some good clips?
It could.
I think we could do both.
Definitely do it.
I think it was a combination of both. I would love to figure out how to get all of our videos off of my Zoom into our Google as well. So we have all in one place.
Does it not let you do a direct download?
I'm sure I'd like to do a direct download of some sort. I'm sure.
Alright. Well,
I'm sure. Remember, Zoom has 3 files. I don't know how. I don't know. It's another technical thing. I don't know. The ins and outs of it. Maybe Troy does.
No, I don't know that I do. Because I've never saved to Zoom. I've always sent it to my hard drive. But I still have all of your emails with links, and so I can go look and see if there's something, if I can pull them off.
I mean, if there's a process that maybe I could run through as the account owner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see that all I need is this one file. If you notice that would be.
So, question. When you've recorded Zoom calls in the past, where do they go?
They go to my Zoom account. They live on my Zoom account. So my Zoom storage is completely full, plus $10 a month, because of our files living there.
If you were to go into, what is this? You have a Mac or a PC?
PC.
So when you click that folder on the bookmarks down at the bottom, and you do a search for Zoom across the entire desktop, do you get a Zoom folder that comes up?
Good question. I don't think so. Yeah, it was last modified in 2022, but it's empty. What's the?
So it's probably with your Zoom reading settings. So I haven't recorded a Zoom in I don't know how long. I mean, well, I'll tell you how long it's been. 5-4 was the last time I recorded a Zoom. So it was what 2-3 Saturdays ago. But it's all on my hard drive on my computer.
Well, yeah, so that won't help me at all. For whatever reason, my hard drive is perpetually on the verge of full, which is a whole nother.
So what I'm saying, though, is you could use your, if there's not a way to go directly from Zoom to your Google Drive or wherever it is that you're trying to put it,
Go down.
you can download it via the pass-through.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think there's a way to go directly. I just don't know which file to grab, because there's usually 3 files. Remember, there's a video, there's an audio, and there's another one for Zoom.
So, just looking at the file sizes, I would say whichever the MP4 file is the one to use.
Yeah,
the other 3,
probably proprietary.
Well, one's a text document, so it's what the chat is. One's the CONF file, I have no idea what that is. And then they created a completely separate audio file.
Correct.
In M4A. And I mean, and when you do that, let's see what happens.
Is that just audio? It's probably just audio.
Yep. So it's just the audio, but when I do video, does it give me the audio is the question. And if it does, then all you need is video. Yep.
And part of the challenge is that in order to have the best possible outcome, I'm recording the most. So I've got shared screen with speaker, shared screen with gallery, speaker view, gallery view, shared screen, audio only, chat only. So we would also want to know which one of those you want me to save across. I've got all of them, right? So I've got shared screen with speakers, shared screen with gallery, speaker, gallery, shared. And they're all split up. And so that, each one of these this is 2 hours, but it is 4 gigs. But it's also 2 hours. Because we just, again, talked for 2 hours just now.
Well, in video, for example, like if you don't have a paid version, it's like an hour, I want to say a month.
Yeah, okay. So,
without a paid version, it would take quite some time to do everything that we've been doing, and anything that we did in the future. But what would be cool would be to pull something out and run it through and just see what it produces.
yeah.
And in a situation like that with limited resources and the amount of time that you have to pull from, then I would want the video that I put in there would be ideally it would be if there was a flip back and forth between a screen share that we wanted to actually show and the gallery, to have that. Because if in the course of the conversation what's being referenced is on screen, ideally we'd want to have that. But bare minimum, it would just be whatever the full gallery of everybody, four cubes, one cube talking. That's
with gallery view.
I would assume that would be it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that would be the most appropriate. Okay.
I mean, with 4 video accounts, we could probably play around with what you're talking about. Everybody take their own file and then see what it does.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
It is a possibility. But I do like having, when we stop a recording and start a recording and do something focused, maybe quickly, every once in a while, see if we can get some good content out of that.
Well, not only that, we'll get good content that we can put out, but it can also be content, like we can create content around that to send people to that content. So for example, if I wanted to talk about, again, feelings and not letting feelings guide you, part of that's about being fearless about what it is that you're doing. Hey, guys, not only do we have this free Fearless workbook, go check out this video that we did on, taking your feelings out of the equation when it comes to being intentional with your business. Now you've got 2 links that are in there, or you just do it just on that. It's another way for us to entice people to engage.
Okay.
I think with the time that we're utilizing right now, especially on these Monday and Thursday calls, with the focus being on content and some of this other back office stuff is really just kind of on the back burner at the moment. How can we maximize the time that we have on this? And I think being able to, or taking an opportunity to talk about certain things when it comes to our personal philosophies and how we look at things is a great opportunity to create content, let people know kind of what they would be getting into, driving a lot of, I say engagement, but, a lot of back and forth. If we can get people in front of, a 10, 15-minute video on our philosophy on X, and a lot of them have a problem with it, so much the better. Like, you don't like what we said? Great. Why don't you like it? What is it about that we said that was wrong? And get that conversation going. And that in and of itself is going to drive the algorithm. But it's also going to give us some insight on what people are looking for.
Yeah.
So, it's something to think about, because I think over the last couple of calls, to a certain degree, we've been kind of like, what do we want to talk about? Like, we're all working on content in our own way, but what is that? Like, what else is there to do? And, like, if we're already dedicating the time, then let's dedicate the time to something we can use. And I think that would be a potential. Is it the only thing? No. It's the first thing I thought of.
All right. Makes sense. Troy, parting words?
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. A few minutes.
Yeah, but no, man, I dig it. I like this shift in gears from creation to promotion, because then we'll shift in gears from promotion to actually engaging in sales. And I think that this is a very important transition. There's a lot that I could talk on where Matt was going earlier. One, Matt, I think you need to learn to meditate, brother. You got too much shit going on, man. That worries me for you, dude. But no parting words other than we have got all the greatest ideas, and we have got some of the most phenomenal content that I've seen, especially in our videos. Our video, we're not leveraging our videos. I mean, we spend right now about 4 hours a week on these videos, and dude, we have 100 pieces of content in those 4 hours. I mean, Matt, you said that you would like to see like directed topic. Nobody wants to sit and listen to us talk for 2 hours on a topic. But you know what? We have directed topic in every one of these videos. We've got 10 minutes on any particular topic. We can parse that stuff out. And man, this is good, engaging shit. This is what business owners want to hear. The type of conversations we have is exactly what my cohorts have always been, man. This is the same conversation. These are the same conversations that the millionaires who have established themselves are having amongst themselves. Our conversations are no different. They truly are not. Sure, their little hiccups or their road bumps or whatnot may have some differences to ours. But man, you can take out the crux of it, and it's the same conversation. And I truly believe that this, I'm using some of our videos for the content that I'm currently creating. That's why it's taken me so long to get this stuff done, is because I'm going back through videos and just pulling out 5-minute segments, 4-minute segments. And I think we have more at our disposal than anybody else out there. We've got a year of content, a year's worth of videos.
Yes, we do.
That makes us probably one of the largest producing digital creation organizations. Probably one of the largest out there. Nobody else spends 4 hours a week talking amongst themselves, overcoming the problems. I don't know of anybody who does.
Great. We should use it.
Yep. It just comes down to actually doing it. Finding a system that is going to be productive and friendly to our needs, and then exploiting that system and creating a discipline around it. Yeah. And if that means hiring somebody from Fiverr to create content out of our videos, then so be it. Let's do it. If that means taking on a part-time content manager, so be it. Let's do it. That's my thoughts.
That would be a good use of resources.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, and one thing that I have learned through this entire goddamn endeavor is that it is more expensive for me to learn how to do it than it is for me to pay somebody who knows how to do it. You want that $1,000 a day, dude? Here's something for you to noodle on, okay? Before we go, because I gotta go too. So aside from the 4 coaching clients that I currently have, over the last probably almost 2 weeks. I have touched base with every single, no, all but one. I missed one. He hasn't reached out. He hasn't reached back out to me. But I know, I have an idea of where he's at. I've reached out to all my past coaching clients, and aside from the 4 that I'm currently working with, every one of them make more money than I do. I'm the only one who does not follow my own prescription. I'm the only one who doesn't do exactly what I coach. Right? I've got 3 that made $1 million within the first 12 months. Doing exactly what I coach, man. I don't do that. You know, I was talking to one of my clients last night. I was chatting with him late last night, about 11 o'clock last night. We were talking, and you know, this kind of came up. This is the coloring book kid, and he's embarrassed as shit about selling his coloring book. Well, fucking why, man? You're already making money with it. Why the hell are you embarrassed by it? You know, and going back to what you were talking about earlier, Matt, it was the whataboutism. You know, it could be so much better. You know, he doesn't feel that it's good enough, but he's asking 99 cents. Fuck that. Fucking sell it, man. Sell it to everybody. Sell it to everybody twice. Fucking A. You know? But we were talking about this, about how much what little I've done over the last couple years. The very little that I've done, you know, 100 years from now, the lives that I've affected aren't going to know my name, and I'm fine with that. You know, I am absolutely content with that. That's how I want it. I'm not changing the world, but my God, I'm changing a few worlds within it. And that's why I'm ultimately 100% at ease, knowing that they make more money than me, because that's what I set out to do. But the times have changed. I can't continue doing that. You know, so if we were my coaching client, holy shit, man, the conversation I would fucking have with us over the amount of content we have that we're not leveraging. Oh my God, man, the ass chewing I would give myself over this. I think that's where we're at. And so if we need to find somebody to parcel up this content, then let's do it. You know, if we need to explore some new options here on getting, you know, putting what we've created to work, then let's fucking do it.